players, different circumstances, different counties, different rules, I guess. But again, the disruption of, can player A go and play for the IPL, you're going to miss 3 championship games, whatever it might be. Is that something that is an issue for the game, do you think, and how does your county and how do you as a captain deal with that situation?
Well, we haven't had that situation yet. I mean, the amount of English players playing the IPL is obviously pretty minimal, but it has a massive effect with overseas players. Who you can bring in for your overseas, also on when you can sign your overseas players, because you don't know whether they're going to be in the IPL, and of course the other leagues as well. So, I mean, it is having an effect, but I think more on that sort of thing. I know Notts are saying they're not allowing their players to go to the IPL. I think Essex have talked about looking at it in the future. I think it could well be an issue because the amount of money on offer for players to go and play out there, the potential exposure and things like that is big. And I mean, it is potentially something that I think may flare up in the future. At the moment, we haven't got that issue past signing our overseas players.
Mm-hmm. But in a sort of dressing room scenario, is there the potential for resentment of or one player, because he happens to be good at 2020 or whatever, is getting to maybe play 3 of these tournaments a year and is therefore earning pots of cash, turn up in a flash car, and then, I mean, how do you experience that situation? Or?
I've experienced players being approached and being told that they'll get paid a decent sum of money, and their clubs, Yorkshire, said no to it. But I think it's going to become an issue. At the minute we're okay because the IPL, for whatever reason, is not picking English players up. But I think it'll become a real issue over the next 5 years, definitely. And my view on it is, if a player wants to go play IPL, then they can do the betting on game, and what an experience. But for the counties, it's an absolute nightmare.
So I mean, Essex signed Yorkshire, and then, he's missing the first chunk of the season playing IPL, and that.
I think it's a big problem. I think it's going to become a problem for the counties. There's Hales and Notts. I think the other side of that is that England won the last T20. Was it the last T20 World Cup or the one before? So I'm assuming England would want Hales to be exposed to the best T20 competition in the world. So when he comes back and plays for England, he's smashing it all over the place for England. So, is it going to get to the point where there's a problem between club and country and county? County says he's not going, and club say, well, there's a T20 World Cup at the end of this year. Sorry, England say there's a T20 World Cup. We want him exposed to the top flight 2020 cricket. So
England saying, finally, your T20 specialists, we want them going, but we don't want Graham Swan, Jimmy Anderson, Stuart Broad.
Yeah, I don't think it's been too much of a problem yet. I know Essex have. That's what we were a bit like what we were talking about earlier about recruiting players who aren't involved in international duty. I think that's maybe going to come in. Essex have signed, is it Rob Quiney for the first part of the season. I'm assuming on the back of knowing that they're going to be missing Shah, Tenderscarter, these kind of guys. So, I think there's probably managing your squad issues there as well.